Now, people very often ask me which brushes I use. I tend to use 2 or 3 on a regular basis. There are other ones as well, but my main ones are things like the detail brush, which is this one, and this is the Winsor & Newton Cotman. It's a Series 111 and it's a 00. As you can see, it's got a very fine tip, which I tend to use for all my detail work. I have got other detail brushes as well, made by other companies. For example, Rosemary & Co. They've got some very nice 00, which I tend to use again, which is a spotter series. They're quite good. But the benefit from using something so tiny is that you can get some very fine lines, such as this here. Okay, so but that's using barely any paint on your brush as well, but you can get some very, very tiny marks. So if you're doing fine hairs, you can get it very small. I'll just zoom into that for you. Yeah, so the fine hairs tend to be very small like this, so you can crisscross. So that's going to be the 00 brush. This is a synthetic one as well, and the bristles are not too long, so therefore there's not too much flex within the brush, which is ideal for me really, because you've got a bit more control over the painting. Okay, so that's the 00. Let's get that a quick rinse out. The other one I use is a spotter brush, which is the one I mentioned, the Rosemary & Co., which is this one here. So that's that brush. Right. This is a size 3, which again is ideal where you want to get some small detail. Let's get some paint on the brush first of all. So you can get some small detail, very, very fine lines. It's got a very good brush, kind of tip on the brush, as you can see there. But the other benefit for this as well is that it's got a larger body, so it holds much more paint. So you can start off small and you can press harder and then come off the pressure to get a tapered tip. So again, you can get some very fine lines. You tend to use a brush which you are more confident using, so I tend to use the 00 for this, for the fine rows. But this is great if you want to fill in a larger area quicker. Now this way you'll probably laugh and giggle a little bit. This is a Scepter Gold, so it's just an old brush which I've had for a long time. And if I just show you the bristles, get ready. Ta-da-da! State of that, I know. All it is, it's an old brush, and I wanted to use it as a fan brush for doing feathers, hairs on cats, dogs, horses, whatever. There are other types as well. This is another one which I've kind of fattened out a little bit. And all I've done is got a pair of pliers. I can very carefully squeeze the bottom of the ferrule. Yes, I know it's ruining the brush, but it's an old brush, so I don't really mind. I've done the same idea on this one as well. So they're both really the same type of thing, and they give you different effects. You can buy fan brushes such as this one. This is a rake, a silver rake, this one here. I've just widened it out a little bit with a pair of pliers, because I found it was too uniform, which tends to be the problem with some of these brushes. So if I just show you with this one, which I've kind of manufactured, or altered, should I say, is that they tend to spray apart, such as this. And because of that, you can do quite a lot of lines in one go. But you have to be very wary that you have to vary the angle and the direction that you do this in. And you can see the area which I'm covering so quickly here by using my little modernized brush. So you can imagine how quick you can get a load of hairs on there. But again, be very careful, because you don't want to cover an area too quick and then find out you've got the direction of the hairs wrong. And they can be very uniform if you're not careful. Okay? And you can also just use one by just using the side of the brush. Yeah, it's very simple. It's a very simple and crude method, but it works. And it's not too uniform with this method of mine. Okay? So that's that brush. The next brush I'm going to show you, just get that a quick rinse out. Always wash your brushes. The next brush I'm going to show you is this one here. So this is a standard mop brush. I tend to use this if I'm going to paint a large background. So I would use this mainly for applying the, just clean water, and just to wet the background 2 or 3 times before I go into the painting. to put the background on, depending on the size of the painting, I use a very large brush, and this one, which is coming into shot, is a size 28 brush, very rough looking, but it works. And when the background is nice and wet, I use this one to drop the colours in. There's a fairly stiff bristle on this one actually, so it's not brilliant, but it works. So that's what I use that one for. So that'll give you a bit of an insight into just some of the brushes which I tend to use. Oh, hang on, I've got this one. This is covered in masking fluid. You can see all the masking fluid within the bristles here. And ideal for an old brush to apply masking fluid to a painting before you go ahead and paint. So that'll give you some ideas on the brushes which I tend to use. And have a go yourself and let me know how you get on. Take care. Bye bye now.